Greetings and blessings, everyone. Happy Monday. So, if you have listened to today's episode, we just talked about some general knowledge of mental health, first episode, and anxiety, like a most common problem for people who are dealing with anything, just anybody. You don't even necessarily have to have a mental health issue to deal with anxiety. It's just a natural thing, being human and whatever you deal with daily stress, and usually anxiety is from stress and other things. It could be from trauma if it gets that deep, but usually that's accompanied with a mental health situation. um, but all of us experience some kind of level of anxiety at some point. I'm gonna read a little bit of the definition of what anxiety is. It's a mental health disorder characterized by feelings of worry, anxiety, fear, strong enough to interfere with one's daily life, daily activities. A lot of symptoms include stress that's out of proportion to the impact of what you're dealing with, constant worrying. Usually, the treatments are usually um, something you could do on your own, unless it's something you can control. Then you need to seek professional help. That's when probably you need to go see a psychiatrist, which a psychiatrist is um, a medical doctor that's in a psychiatry field that went to med school to prescribe medication, usually psychotropic medications, which is medication that is used for mental health disorders and symptoms. So if you have symptoms of anxiety that's higher than something you can control, or saying breathing not helping, resting, relaxing, you need to try to figure out what's going on in your environment that's causing these issues, and usually that's usually where you find the source of your problem. We all do deal with it, but some of us we don't really understand what it is. But it feels like a nervousness. You ever feel nervous, butterflies in your stomach? You can feel it in your chest. You can call tension headaches and body aches. So anxiety is a lot of worrying for the most part. It's worrying about stuff probably either out of your control or something you really, it's not as big as you think it is. Usually the behavior behind that hyper vigilance, which is just being over, doing a whole lot and trying to, be up and about and really getting out and doing things, feel like the need to do something. Or this hyperactivity is more of what that says. Irritability, which just being agitated easily, and I see it all the time when you driving and doing stuff like that, and people in traffic, especially on their way home or to work. A lot of your road rage comes from other stuff, and it builds up as frustration, and you find yourself out in traffic cussing people out or doing a little something extra that could cause extra problem. Restlessness, which that could be just not be able to sit still and be able to concentrate, and you're worrying, you're pacing, you're moving around, you just don't get what's going on. It's a lack of concentration, racing thoughts, unwanted thoughts, fatigue. If it's a Now, sweating only happens really when it's probably a panic attack. If you're sweating, it's really severe. And usually panic attacks is the most severe thing you'll see. You freaking out, and you don't even know why. People a lot of times don't even know why they freaking out. So sweating could happen with that. Excessive worrying cause fear, feeling impending doom, just having this negative thought process that creates high anxiety, insomnia, not be able to go to sleep at night. You up all day because you're worrying, you're thinking. That's what anxiety is. Nausea, if your stomach, like I said, you feeling butterflies, it could get to the point where it could make you sick at the stomach and have you feeling nauseated, ready to throw up. Trembling, hands shaking, and use that hyperactivity and things like that. So with the treatments, you could use anti depressants for this, but everybody don't need that. That's a higher level. Usually, if it's something that is constant, then you might want to seek professional help. But don't worry, you are not sick or anything. A lot of people have went to the emergency room on just the simple fact of a panic attack, or which is a high anxiety attack, and you freaking out and you don't know how to control it. And usually the best way to handle that when you feel it coming on and you get accustomed to what that feel like, start taking deep breaths. Count, hold it in, and let it out. Like I said, I have a iWatch that does an automatic breathing exercise when it feels you getting a little stressed, or it sees your blood pressure getting high, and it can kind of tell because it's right there on your wrist where it feels your pulse and all that stuff. Um, but one thing you should know, if you're dealing with this on a constant basis and you don't want to seek help, one thing that would help is decreasing or avoiding alcohol drinking, reduce caffeine intake. If you drink a lot of coffee, a lot of soda, that could cause problems for anxiety and nervousness that you can't handle it, and it doesn't help. Physical exercise is very good for anything. Mental health. Physical exercise is what any physician or mental health professional would tell you to do. Quit smoking cigarettes and all that stuff. That's another thing that causes high levels of anxiety. Some people think by smoking cigarettes or smoking a square or whatever it may be, they think that's a way to calm down. A lot of times people are like, oh, I'm nervous, let me smoke a square. And actually, the nicotine and all that gets you all revved up. So it's not really actually helping you. Relaxation techniques is, like I say, techniques that involve you. I like to do the breathing. Meditation is a good one. Get a meditation app. There's tons of meditation apps out there that you could use. That's something that's a good practice. I think that will probably be the best, the breathing and the meditation. And if you can't stop it with that, it'll usually probably time for you to go seek help beyond that. Stress management. Understanding how to decrease your stress. It could be stuff unnecessary. Dealing with people that you don't necessarily need to deal with. Talking about negative things, or people that constantly come around you with negative things. Being on social media, constantly going through social media and seeing negative stuff. Especially if it's something in the news, like, the young lady got shot by the cop. That ain't necessarily something you want to watch all the time. When you see that traumatize you, whether you're involved or not, because you're seeing this. And then this negative stuff is not good for your brain. Now you're worrying you. That's why I say the excessive use of information, watching the news all the time, doing that stuff is not good for you. Learn to laugh. I love to watch comedies and stuff that gets me away from that stuff for a minute. It ain't solving anything, but it gives you a break from that constant rhetoric of negativity, which causes worrying and anxiety that will sit over you and won't go anywhere. And sometimes people develop general anxiety disorders because of this. So they might end up getting diagnosed with general anxiety issues. Straight manage a healthy diet. I tell everybody around me, the way you eat makes a difference. If you don't think so, if you're about my age or older, you're going to find out what a bad diet do, and it affects your mental as well. And it makes you susceptible to things that will mess up your brain as well as your body. So having a balanced diet, that doesn't mean starving yourself. Still eating 3 meals if you can. At least you're try to eat breakfast. If you can't eat lunch, make sure you eat a nice solid dinner. If you're going to snack in between time, get you some oranges, apples, some fruit, even vegetables like carrots and stuff. And maybe get you a little ranch and dip it in for a snack. These things help with everything. Exercise, dieting, it's always anything health, mental health, physical health. And then you got the therapies, which these are the therapies usually. I recommend therapy for everybody. Now, the difference, and I want you to understand, what therapy is, you going to see somebody to talk with, and you're going to usually sit down for an hour, and they're going to actually talk with you, give you feedback, and y'all going to go back and forth talking with each other. The psychiatrist, on the other hand, is somebody just strictly about giving medication. She's going to ask certain questions, but that's just to find out what the medication is doing to you. So that they need to know, and then that's why you have to be honest with them so they can know what's going on. Because if you got to take medication, you got to do it the right way. Yeah, and when you start taking that type of medication, diet and exercise is very important. So that was just a few things of anxiety, but like I say, it's so many techniques you can practice. There's tons of meditation apps that you can use. Headspace is one of my favorites, and some of them they got the free stuff, but then you can also pay a little fee every month, and it'll give you a little extra bonus stuff that you could do. Calm is a common one. I got one called Mesmerize. It's one I never seen before. It helps with sleep, kind of hypnosis thing. So it could relax you, but you have to be careful with the hypnosis type thing. They got the Better Me out. But I go to Headspace. It's a good one. It does meditation and sleep. You go through them, you'll see tons of them. Calm and Headspace are the two common ones that you should consider looking into. So that's just my spill on anxiety today. I got a fresh new episode tomorrow. We're going to talk more about different mental health stuff, the basics that everybody could be dealing with, because it could be an acute issue. Even with anxiety, it might just be, especially with COVID, it might just be something that came around COVID bothering you. So once this is settled, that anxiety might go away for good. Or it might create anxiety forever. It may have you worried about other stuff forever. That's why it's important to manage it. And so you most definitely want to make sure you know exactly what's going on with yourself and the health. So tomorrow we're going to talk about depression. And like I say, all these things could be acute meaning it could be temporary. It could be something that just came on and it's only kind of episode type of situation. Or it's short time. It's not long term, which it turns from acute to more chronic, which chronic is something that's ongoing. So it's a constant issue. So I hope you enjoyed the video about anxiety. You got any questions or even statements or anything you want to share that I didn't cover, hit me up. There's hit YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of that. So I got another police chase going on. Goodness gracious, I was like 20 cars going by. But peace. I will check you guys Tuesday. Enjoy your Monday. I'm out.